Alright, just waiting for this to load up, and then we will see spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Down a game, but can he come back? It is the yellow Zerg GoldenLight.
Yeah, pretty in pink in the top right. We've got the Terran Major. I was gonna phrase that so very differently.
The Major Terran.
Yeah, but then I was like, wait, that's his Major Tom. I don't know where I was going with that, but
Ground control to Major Terran.
yes. Oh, where's the spoof when we need it? Let's get Penguin to go sing that.
Yep. And you can be the dance accompaniment.
Thank you, sir, man.
Alright, well we saw absolutely crazy pressure coming out from Major in the previous game. He was just kind of like, I'm just 2-raxing you, and then I'm immediately transitioning into Blue Flame Hellions because he predicted accurately that his opponent would not have the tech to deal with the attack really using anything but Zerglings.
Yeah, that
and
game...
so he was able to repeatedly snipe bases, get a ton of worker kills, but looks like, at least not yet, he's going to be going for anything as aggressive.
Had GoldenLight managed to sustain that hash rate, albeit with 3 health, that game would not have gone the way it went. Not at all. Losing that larva protection for so long is just so very painful, and looks like he is scouting around right now, hopefully trying to avoid any other 2-racks pressure. But Major sticking to pretty standard stuff right now, no awkward position.
I think we're going to see CC first. I mean, he already has 2 workers queued up, has not started building a barracks. And so this is almost the exact opposite. I love this mind
14
game.
CC, yeah.
Yeah, going for like the absolute maximum pressure you possibly can, freaking your opponent out to where he thinks like, oh man, I really need to defend myself against that. Actually looks like GoldenLight is not taking the bait, going for his own expand first, but I mean right now, here goes the CC, and the spawning pool hasn't even been started yet. I think this will easily go up and be defended.
Yeah, and the annoying thing about Terran is, of course, you gotta deal with the builder harass. One of the most frustrating things in the game. But I mean, GoldenLight scouting this knows like, okay, you know, phew, I'm safe going hatchery first this time.
Wow, greedy. Wow, greedy coming out of Major. He's even getting the refinery before he decides to build any kind of barracks.
The barracks went out just now, though. I would really like to see Major go with the quote-unquote standard Hellion Banshee harass with this. I mean, it's really easy to do if your opponent allows you to get away with this command center early. If GoldenLight does not punish this, doesn't have some Zerg... Actually, he's not going to. Going for that third hatchery on his own. So, Major actually could be gearing up to a very nice mid-game.
I guess we just missed these 2 players saying, like, no rush 20? Yeah, no rush 20. Because right now we are, like, it's 4 minutes into the game, and there's not even an attacking unit on the field.
Yeah, checking the unit tab is... Well, I guess Overlord's kind of a... They're in your face in the opponent's base all the time. Not really an attack unit, though, I guess. I still think Overlord should be able to pick up spine crawlers and turn them upside down and use them to attack from the air.
Yeah, that would be pretty amusing. But you're absolutely right in calling what the standard transition is going to be, as right now the factory is on the way. And one kind of funny thing about this Taken Extractor is that it doesn't matter almost at all, because if he wants the additional gas, he has 2 Vestmine Geysers at his natural that can be easily taken.
Yeah, I mean, you really only need the 1 gas to start pumping the Hellions. You only need that 2nd gas if you're going to worry about Banshees, which, yeah, we're definitely going to see coming out of Major now with that refinery at the natural. I mean, there's some scouting information, and Major's not going to want to build in this area, but so what? He's Terran. He can lift off his buildings and reposition them later. It's not a huge deal. Meanwhile, back at home for GoldenLight, speed is on the way. And 3 bases, he's got to be feeling very confident, but... that could change in an instant once 4 Hellions are in his base and a Banshee in his main.
That's one of the dangerous things about going for this super fast 3-base style against the Terran, is that because of Hellions, they just have such a great harassment option that, for example, Protoss, we very commonly see the 3-base style against, just doesn't have. If Protoss goes for an attack, it's basically a huge committed attack that needs to kill off that 3rd base, whereas with this combination of Banshee and Hellion harassment, I mean, the Queens are going to need to be spread out perfectly, Spine Crawlers are probably going to be needed, Zerglings will have to be controlled very precisely. This is pretty risky to be so economically greedy.
A big problem right now, Senix, is there's no evolution chambers down, and there's nothing close to a layer being on the way. If these Banshees have Cloak, and you can get away with this for a little bit longer, Major's going to do some game-ending damage if he can get away with it.
He has the money for it too, currently floating at like 200 as soon as, yes he does, as soon as he lands that tech lab, on that tech lab, immediately Cloak is started, even before the Banshee being produced.
Yeah, it's a little delayed because of that gas, but not the biggest deal in the world. Again, looking back at home, I don't think GoldenLight has any idea this is coming. And, I mean, he's got some Spine Crawlers going down to try and deter the Hellions. I like that choice. The Queen's easily in a position to block that ramp off, but, I mean, there's nothing here to stop the Banshees, and it doesn't feel like there will be anytime soon. A Macro Hatchery even going down in the main. I mean, this is going to catch him off guard.
Wow, yeah, the Evolution Chamber, I mean, cloaking is about halfway done right now, and it's still just drone. And this is getting a pretty nice economic advantage, as we currently see 46 drones, 4950 against just 34 SCVs, but I mean, with a combination of Hellions and Banshees, it can be reversed really, really quickly.
But we do have double Evos coming down now, trying to create that wall, but this will more importantly allow him to finally get Spore Crawlers up. He will lose most likely a Queen or two, maybe some workers, but he shouldn't be able to get away with too much, as Spore Crawlers will be able to be made.
Well, all of these Hellions are still posturing around, and really kind of when these Hellions might come into their own. In fact, well, they're just going to try and run by, no, pulling back, almost losing one right there.
He does have so many Hellions here, though.
Yeah, but when the Hellions really become just like super important is when the Banshees are on the field pulling the Queens around, because while the Queens can be very nicely spread out, they're terrifying. But at least so far...
3 Spore Crawlers coming down. A little bit of an overreaction from GoldenLight. But I mean, Hellions coming in to fry up these drones. BBQ, as my co-caster Panda would say. And oh my goodness, just instantly annihilating this base. 13 workers killed for the cost of next to nothing. Major pulling out a really nice kill there. But unfortunately, I believe GoldenLight, yes, still ahead in workers. 3 bases for a long time, allowing him to saturate pretty heavily.
Yeah, kind of going for the Ret style of, like, I took some damage, guess I better make more workers, and it's going pretty well for him. In fact, though, this harassment is not finished up yet, though, potentially catching a Queen off creep, which could be a very nice little pickup.
Yeah, and there's no anti-air actually at all to deal with these Banshees that are just picking away at the Evolution Chamber, and these will stop that +1 armor. Hellions being picked off, though, by the Spine Crawler. He's got to be careful. He needs these to harass with.
Ooh, the Queen's getting in and sniping off one of those Banshees, though. Nice little thing right there. And, I mean, these Zerglings are getting at least okay damage. They're not really trading cost efficiently, but slowly but surely these Hellion numbers are being whittled down. However, the third base is already complete for Major and really just kind of waiting to be moved into position at the third base.
Yeah, 5 more Hellions coming. They're going to find that last Queen alive. Banshee cloaked on top of it. No detection nearby. And, oh, GoldenLight just losing a lot of Queens in this.
Yeah, 2 more factories being added on as well, in addition to 1 vehicle, weapons, and plating. So this is definitely going to be a mech play coming out of Major. And I mean, why not when you're getting this much damage done?
Yeah, workers just being slain left and right. Who cares about the Spine Crawler? You're just killing tons and tons of drones.
16 drones already finished off, and where is that one more? Yeah, unfortunately the Banshee has run out of energy, is going to need to go home. One thing that we haven't seen at all is that the main has been basically left alone, and there's not a single thing here. I mean, there's 1 Queen hanging out. There's not any Spine or Spore Crawlers though, so a run by up there with either the Banshees or the Hellions would be just devastating.
I like the supply wall that's been erected here by Major, trying to prevent stuff like run-bys from happening.
Yeah, definitely a good thing to have, though. His opponent currently is going for Infestors, which, it depends on how they're utilized. They're either kind of amazing or really bad against mech. If they get caught by siege tanks, they get just annihilated in a heartbeat. However, if they can land some good fungals, they can really clear out the Hellions that are continuing to do damage.
Oh my goodness, so many more drones being roasted again. As there's just being a barbecue thrown here at the third. 2 more Banshees, they've been retained for so long. But not many kills on either of them, actually. 1 Viking kind of chasing around the Overlords, forcing GoldenLight into his base. I mean, nothing is worse than not being able to scout.
Yeah. And really, there's only this 1 Overlord left, and already a rally point on that Viking going home to try to deal with that. I really, really like that game sense. There's always an Overlord here. In fact, the Thor's moving in to even deal with it first.
And a 4th coming down for Major right now. Just after flopping down the 3rd, getting it saturated. I mean, between the mules and the worker difference right now, I'd say he's definitely ahead economically. Just look at those numbers coming in. Beautiful.
Yeah, also supply blocking his opponent when you already have a supply lead, always a nice thing. And I mean, being in a supply deficit against somebody who's going for mech, that's absolutely terrifying. Mech is such a powerful army.
Oh, but we do actually have neural parasite being researched, which, while cool, is very difficult to use. I mean, between the tank splash and the Thor damage, it's really not the easiest thing in the world to grab those Thors and turn around on your opponent.
Yeah, you have to be very positional with them, and there is a pretty good number of Roaches currently coming out, but I mean, they're even behind in upgrades with 2-2 vehicle weapons and plating on the way, while 1-1 is only just now finishing up. Like,
Fungal's being thrown down on these Hellions outside the base, but I mean, they just don't have the health to deal with the Roaches.
Yeah, and the Roaches even being cleaned up by these Banshees. Until the Infestors get out there, they're just not going to be able to do all that much.
Actually, those Roaches do all get away, but just scarcely alive.
Yeah.
Now the problem is, I mean, Mech is a very scary army to begin with. It's not the easiest thing to break, and the longer GoldenLight waits to do anything, the harder it is going to be to break.
This is a pretty smart transition from them, though, going for a super rapid Hive and Spire, despite the harassment damage that he's been taking. I mean, even before snagging his 4th base, deciding to go for that, it's going to be pretty hard to sustain economically, but if he can just get up a decent number of Broodlords, and there isn't a very quick Viking transition, it might be just what he needs to deal with kind of the weakness that Mech has, which is its lack of anti-air.
Yeah, but I mean, there's only that small window. Once you've got several Thors on the field, it doesn't matter how many Broodlords you have, because most of them are just clumped to begin with. 7 Thors all doing one volley will quickly make mincemeat out of whatever anti-air air you have. Not anti-air, they're the anti-air.
Ooh, and it looks like there is the 7 Brofester hit squad, which is currently moving out.
Meanwhile, Roach is coming from the top, though, and Major's going to be caught in a pincer attack. He does have a planetary fortress to help from the south, though. And a lot of splash damage. My computer's slowing down the game, apparently.
Yeah,
so many Infestors.
I mean, the Infested Terrans are pretty good, but I just don't think that they're going to be able to do enough damage. He is trying to target down any siege tanks that he can, gets 2 of them. But really, this army, though, one of the major strengths of Mech is that if it isn't killed and is only highly damaged, you can just pull some SCVs off, immediately repair it back up to full.
That's a lot of Zerglings. He's got to be careful. You don't want to lose these Thors, especially the tanks. They're all so low right now.
But, oh, and already we see